Hi everyone, I wanted to show you some art that I did. This is basically copied from a cylinder seal, but it's obviously not done so well. So it's pastels and colored pencil, and it's a picture of Enki. It's let's see, so that blob that I'm pointing at with my thumb, it's supposed to be the Anzu bird. It's not so good. And Enki's eye is really big, so it's like he's stoned out of his mind. All right. I am very happy with the acrylic paint pens. I got silver and gold. They have other colors. I'm most happy with the silver on the rivers. It'd be the Tigris and Euphrates. I forget which cylinder seal this came from, and I have no idea which dig site it came out of. Sorry. There's no rhyme or reason to me making his garment green, outside of the fact, well, not really a fact, but outside of just Enki's association with water and life and keeping human beings alive. Just that. The bottom foot I'm not happy with. The his other foot here, I'm happy with. It actually, it doesn't look right. It looks like a flipper, but it kind of works. This big fat foot, not so great. It's not a perspective piece, but still the perspective is off. Anyway, and of course, like the shading and stuff, and you know, adding texture to those rocks and what have you. It's you know, that was yeah, that's just my stuff. I don't really have anything to add. With the gold on the beard, I was trying to approximate a plated beard. I think I kind of did all right, because this isn't supposed to be a super detailed piece or anything. The crown, the way I did it, I think it's fine. I don't think I did a good job of it, but I think having a gold and silver acrylic paint pen helped, because now it looks like at least it's intended to be actually a crown, even though even though it doesn't look like horns. But I kind of salvaged it, and it still looks crown-like. But, so I have some other pieces I want to do. I want to do a Skathi. I want to do Odin. I want to do Sif. I want to do Idun. Yeah. Oh, I want to do Freya. So lots of Norse. I want to do one of Ishtar. I want to do hers. I'd want to put this way, and I would want her in a chariot. With Freya, I want to do a similar thing, is have her in her cat-drawn chariot. I know the color palette I'm going to use for Ishtar / Inanna, whatever you want to see. I like the Sumerian names, but a lot of people like the Akkadian names. Which, I mean, the Akkadian names sound cool, but I'm just partial to the Sumerian ones. Anyway, so if I did Inanna, it would be like this, and she'd be in a chariot, wielding her mace. She'd be all kinds of fierce, and I know the color palette I want to use. I want to use red, purple, pink, and kind of a yellow, gold, amber. But with the gold, I don't want to do this gold. I don't want to do the acrylic. With the acrylic markers, what I want to do is get a rose gold acrylic marker and do some shinies with that. But again, not a lot of shinies. Similar to this, where it's like, you know, where it's like, yeah, where it's like you have a bit on the Tigris and Euphrates. No, I don't know which river is supposed to be which. Let's see. Yeah, so, and with, like, when I do Freya, I'm thinking Freya, yeah, she's going to be in her chariot, so hers is going to be situated this way as well. And yes, I want to do a Thor, and I'm thinking if I do shiny bits on Thor, it's going to be more of a copper. I was thinking of doing Hestia, and again, Hestia, she would be situated like this, and I'm seeing, like, now white's hard to do in pastel and colored pencils, so I'm thinking like a very light blue or a cream color with silver silver highlights. Do kind of a Greco-Roman background. And I had an idea for Thor too, like the background for Thor. And I like with storm clouds, I could very easily do it'd be very interesting if doing Thor with a complementary color scheme. Okay, I'm just going to show you blank stuff and ramble. But what I'd like to do is have like, well, yeah, I like the idea of having a purple and yellow complementary color scheme, because if nothing else, the background, you can easily do a purple and the yellow as far as a stormy sky background. And I want to do it from the perspective of like sort of on eye level with the clouds. And not, or maybe even on top of the clouds, or I don't know. Have the clouds in the background and have some in the foreground as well. And see, I'm looking at blank art. This is laminated, by the way. I got it laminated today at FedEx. So I'm thinking I'll do a big batch of these and laminate them, and I'll either use them for my own practice, or I will pass them around, or I could, get a mat board and do something like, still works. Now, I was always told in art school, work big, but this isn't work big material, because this is the sort of thing I want to do these pictures so I can give to people, or again, using my practice. Hey, I'm going to set this up here and do whatever, like here, I'll show you, like these. Like, obviously I didn't draw these or even take these pictures, but I could easily see getting a mat board and like having main gods of a certain, any given pantheon, boom, 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 boom. Something of that nature, only, I could easily do like with Mesopotamian gods, I would have a picture of like 12 of them. That would be intense. Like, walk in my room one day, high as a kite. Oh my god! No. But actually, I would be more prone to do Norse. I also had an idea of doing Thoth, which it's funny because, like, if I was doing Ishtar, basically right away I'm thinking, okay, futurist art, all right, because it's going to be, she's in a chariot, she's going to be moving, right? But then when I think of Thoth, I think of just the opposite. I think of like preservation, and it's going to be like the piece would initially look very, very boring, and I can't get it out of my head that to do this piece properly, it has to start off looking super fucking boring, and as you look at it, you have to notice things and notice things and notice things, and that's going to be hard to do, because if you look at this, not so skilled. This isn't like a ridiculously bad picture. There's good points and bad points. I've always been pretty good at blending, but this it's still at a level where this looks wrong, and this is probably the Anzu bird. The Anzu bird looks way wrong. Eyeball looks wrong. I mean, I'm just not at a skill level where I think I can confidently start do a work where it just like on one level it looks boring, like there's not much going on, blah, whatever. And then you look at it and then you see something. And then you see something and then see something else. I don't think pastels and colored pencils would lend themselves to doing art in the style of ancient Egypt. However, it doesn't have to be in the style of ancient Egypt. It can be inspired by it, though, of course. And right away, I'm thinking what I would do is let my cat in the room, and what I would do is do some, draw inspiration from a piece and have them, there you go. I'll shut the door so I don't bother people. And you can see cat while I talk. I might, like with that, I started out tracing it. And I didn't do much. Yeah, you're going to say, oh, you traced it? Well, sort of. I didn't want to trace, but I traced the very bare basic outline and still managed to fuck a lot up. I kind of dig how I did the arm. And I don't know or very much care about the other arm, because the way I interpret this, the picture that I drew from, is you have the Tigris and Euphrates coming out of Enki's shoulders, but it's like you have his arms being the Tigris and Euphrates. And so if I missed the arm for some reason, I looked at the seal again, and maybe I just totally missed the other arm. But, which I probably did, but considering this is a mythical being, he can change the water into his arm or something. I don't know. It's a mythical being. It doesn't matter. It's fine. So yeah, that's what I've been thinking about lately. Oh, and with Thor, instead of gold or silver, I think I'm going to do copper. Or I might do like silver and copper. And actually, I this morning I woke up still feeling migraine-y, but lots of inspiration. And I thought of 2 ideas for Thor. One idea would be a very dark picture. Lots of dark blues. And again, it would be complementary. This is it's not complementary, but you got reds and oranges and yellows in the back, and the blues and greens. I wanted the Tigris and Euphrates to be like the main focus. Anyway, moving on. So with Thor, I was thinking one picture have like a lot of dark blue, and have bright yellow oranges to contrast. And there's another picture of Thor I was thinking of actually starting with a rainbow, because I have my own weird associations with Thor. But someone's going to say, rainbow? Well, that's Heimdall, because Bifrost, and Heimdall's the Watchman of Asgard. Well, fine, cool. Yeah, I want to do Heimdall too. If I do a big Heimdall, I'm putting him right there. This I'm not hanging up on a wall. I'm hanging this up on the side of a bookshelf. And that's not for the internet. But so I'm not going to show you where I'm putting it. So yeah, I was thinking what I could do is just make a bunch of things like this, and like, I mean, I'm not even talking about selling them. I'm thinking about just giving them away. And if people for whatever reason just loved them, or said, hey, a bunch of people say, oh, you should sell these, then yeah, I would try and sell them. But until then, so this is my first venture into one of Enki's associations. Divine art, like depiction, not to say that this art is divine, but art of divinities, apparently. Unless maybe I misread or something like that. Could have misread. Also, what I'd like to do is take something. Okay, you know if you know the channel Digital Hammurabi, I'd like to take something from. I'm just gonna set this down. There you go. It's like people. It's like pretty easy to tell that what I like, but from the way my room is decorated. Oh, yeah. So what was I gonna say? Yeah. Digital Hammurabi. So, I was thinking of doing 2 pictures about on this scale and laminating them so they can go through the mail. This is exactly why I laminated it. So it goes in the closet because for some reason, and then I can take it out and, oh, look, still not, and I kind of have to try to bend it to actually fuck it up. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so I'm thinking for, I forget their names. One is, I think, Dr. Josh, and the other one, I forget what her name is, Dr. something or other, Doctor. Anyway, obviously I'd find her name out before I actually sent her anything, but again, and I'm sure they have a P.O. box and stuff, which, yeah. And if I can't find it, I would of course ask, hey, do you have a P.O. box, or where can I send this, or whatever. So with the one of them is a scholar of ancient Hebrew. The other is an Assyriologist. I don't know what I do. I don't know what I do for Dr. Josh, because anything Hebrew is way outside my wheelhouse. Not to say that Assyriology is in my wheelhouse, but I'm more familiar with it just for the sake of, I think ancient civilizations are cool, mythology is cool, as debunking ancient aliens, yeah. So, but with the lady end of Digital Hammurabi, her I would probably make, that's the person I'd probably make Ishtar for, like, and I'm seeing it now. Oh gosh, yeah, seen it. She would be here. I would be depicting movement. Again, goes back to futurism without the fascism, because I'm not a fucking fascist. So there'd be a horizon there. There'd be a sun. She'd be passing the sun, and the sun, I would end up making the metallic rose gold with the italic pins. But the style of the art, it would, part of her, this would be interesting, because this would be a silhouette, and the sun would be a background, and it would be a different silhouette, so to speak. It's hard to describe what I'm seeing. So you have like boom, boom, and you would have. I guess I just have to try it. I have to try it. That's going to be interesting, because it's going to be stylized with pastels and colored pencils, which I like blending, so I like these materials. You can blend, but this would be something of a silhouette. So if I still want to blend stuff, I'm going to have to do something very abstract, which would be cool, because, again, it would be a chariot, so it would be movement. I could take lines of movement, like do things like, lines around the wheels of the chariots, for example, to indicate the movement, but those lines can take your eye. And I was thinking about this actually this morning. The lines would take your eye and, you know, moving around the picture. And same with the sun. If I have a sun in the background, it's kind of I've had art teachers who like, don't put the thing in picture. Fuck you. Now, it is a little hackneyed to say, oh, well, let's just have it. I don't know what the background should be. But I get it. But I'm thinking here the sun would be something that would take your eye around, like you'd start with her head. And her mace could be, we'd probably start with her mace actually and come down and then follow her chariot. And then you would have the sun and any motion lines and abstractions inside the shapes, like shapes inside the shapes, you know. The abstractions and stuff would draw your eye back around the sun and then take it back, so you're back at the mace. So it'd kind of draw from supremism, not bad political philosophy supremism. I'm talking about the art movement supremism, art for the sake of art. So, and when I say it would draw from supremism, obviously this isn't art for the sake of art that I'm thinking about. But it's all about getting the eye to move around. This piece that I'm thinking about, whole point would be to get the eye to move around. This, I didn't really have any goals here except for play around with pastels. I was like, I want to draw Enki. That's a neat idea. And I played around with pastels and colored pencils because I haven't done it in forever. So here we are, and then there's the cat. So I'm gonna leave you with a cat and Enki and trans rights.